stone sculpture, wall sculpture of the Assyrians. And if you know anything about history, here's the amazing thing, that the Bible tells us things that are real history. Now, you get a lot of other places, and they don't work that way. They'll do these kind of mystical, magical things, and they may or may not have anything to do with reality. But the amazing thing about your Bible is that God speaks through history. And these are real events, real people groups, and real stuff. And these are the Assyrians. You might remember that if you've read parts of your Bible, Jonah's a real popular one. He is told by God to go to Nineveh. This right here is essentially one of the Assyrian sculptures that is of the Assyrian people. Now, I want to take you here. This takes me back personally about not quite 50 years. My wife and I went here to the British Museum. But this is where it kind of began for me. I was fascinated with artwork, and we went to Europe, my wife and I, and toured for about 3 months, looking at various levels of artwork, and this was one of our first stops. And this is a section in the British Museum. I don't know if they have these exact same things there, if they make casts or molds, but they sent a number of the things back to the original countries. But this is real stuff, real history. But can you imagine living in a tent or a mud hut for most of your life, and then you walk into the city, and there is an entryway into the castle, and these guys are protecting the way. You'll notice that these look like maybe a ox or a beast of burden that are in one sense these creatures, and yet we've got wings here, and of course human heads. They are in fact, as we look around, we'll find a lot of these things that are similar to the book of Ezekiel, except Ezekiel goes about 5 steps ahead, and we'll have to get to that when we do. But these came, that's what got me started. So anyway, Jonah was told to go to the city of Nineveh and to preach. And an amazing thing happened. First of all, Jonah resisted with all he had. He didn't want to go there. Why? Because they were big, bad, mean men, soldiers. They invaded various towns and cities and took them over. And eventually, about 722 or so, in 722 BC, that's before Christ, these people were the Assyrians. And they were dreaded, feared, and fierce people. You can look down here, you see the lion. By the way, you won't find too many lions in the area because there's so much history that mankind they hunted those things down, they got rid of them. But when people lived at that time, there were lions all over, and they were very threatening. They created fear, but you're a handy little government, guys, get rid of the lions. But more so, what this picture is expressing is that they have great power, and you should fear and respect this Assyrian military. So Jonah didn't want to go there. God said go, and something amazing happened. As he preached, the Assyrians turned and repented. They believed in God. So we're talking probably about anywhere from 1,000 years BC in that time span, maybe a little older than that. But the Assyrians, the people of Nineveh, turned and received their Lord God. Now, it didn't last for a real long time, but went through this guy who got swallowed by the whale. They invaded around 722 and wiped out the northern section of Israel. Of course, this takes time as you invade sections of countryside and such in different little cities. But 722 is a date where northern kingdom just fell apart. But Judea, kind of near Jerusalem, in that kind of circle around Jerusalem, that area stayed under control of various kings who were the line of David. So we're talking about 722 BC is when the northern kingdom fell. If you go back to the time of, let's say, Muhammad, we're about 600 years after Christ. So 600 from 2,000, 1,400 years ago, when Muhammad started showing up on the scene. Took a while for the whole thing to kind of lift off the ground, but that's a long time ago. But what we're looking at with the Assyrians is you double that and then add a little bit, and now we get to the time of 700 BC. So this happened a long time ago. There was Israel. They'd been there all along. They'd been there for hundreds of years, and they eventually fell. But the one thing that history is so amazing to me is that the Bible writes in a way that is unique to other books. It is real and genuine history. You might think there's embellishments. The Assyrians were wiped out, and we'll explore that more in detail. That is, if you follow, sign up, subscribe, whatever is necessary for the format that you're looking at, please do it for your benefit. There's amazing stuff that goes on, and I can only show it to you relatively slowly, one step at a time. For now, keep asking, AskOurPastor.com.